Hi guys, welcome to another LivinginSAtv video. David here. Today we are continuing with part 2 of our tour with Ayanda. Don't forget to check the Maboneng video that we have done somewhere around here. Anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the walk, and once again this video will blow your mind. Okay guys, let's see where we started. We started here at Curiosity Backpacks, right? We went all the way down Fox Street until we reached Jewel City. We went all the way to Phillip Street to see that amazing graffiti here, and we went all around this building where you see that blue graffiti, right? We passed all the way to the other side of the road and we went to Van Beek Street, right? To Benving Street, went to Beacon Street. You guys can see Elevate, the Access City, the graffitis are here somewhere, all the way here to Beacon Street. And then we come all the way back and we went to the Skatepark. That is here, if I'm not mistaken, correct? And we went all the way up Charles Street, and from Charles Street we went to the Hallmark House. There you go guys, that was basically what we did.
Okay guys, that's the Hallmark Hotel, you guys can see it. We're going there now. But
So we're going to take you to one of my also favorite venues in the city, which is a bit of a flip on what we've seen here. It's a nice rooftop. You can kind of make it out just in front of the big large Vodacom or Ponzi building. Hallmark House, new addition, really great. But the idea really with Hallmark House was to try and attract a much more upmarket audience into the inner city that would be able to stay there but still interact with the street life that you find in Maboneng, but just the accommodation offering was better. So almost like a 4 or 5 star hotel, with complemented by the street culture that you find in Maboneng, and that sort of stuff. So yeah, we're going to take a nice walk, and as we're walking, again guys, so Maboneng is not only Fox Street that we've seen, it's a whole development. We're in Fox Street where the spine, so the restaurants, the bars are the main businesses. But when the development or the neighborhood was being developed, there was a lot of buildings that were built on this side here, which is the more commercial side, so office spaces, for example, small little spaces for entrepreneurs to be able to open up a small business. But yeah, so that's what we have in this corner of town.
I can see that the graffiti goes on again.
Yeah, so
also giant
Dibongs and Depo One. So they did a collab. So Depo One actually used to live in Maboneng. Very cool guy. I've met him once or twice. Yeah, and he's done work all over. All over the world. He himself, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's from Belgium. So he's a Belgian street artist that moved into Maboneng in the mid-2000s, between 2010 and of course 2020. He used to have an apartment not too far away from here. I'm not sure if he's still in the city. He may be, because I have not seen him. I have not seen him in a while. But again, like I was mentioning earlier, what's super cool about this sort of thing that we've seen here is that as a everyday person, you're able to meet these artists that are beautifying the city. You can see them doing their
thing. Yeah. So, quick question to you, brother. What, as a local, that someone who lives here all his life, what do you think about what development do you think that the inner city needs? What you would like to see?
Yeah, so I think to answer that, I think my view on it is I think when you are developing when you're developing in the inner city, I think it's incredibly important to try and understand what are the people in the city looking for. You know, there's different types of characters or different types of demographics in the city. But I think about what quality of life are these people searching for, you know, and also just think about the future of the city. You know, I'm going to keep saying this, but there's what I find just through my experiences going through the city and engaging with people is that there's a very ambitious group of people living in the city. You know, maybe the city is their starting point. We're like, okay, this is what I can afford now. This is what I'm doing now. But these people are upwardly mobile. They want more money. They want better housing. They want better places. They want better things. So I think when developers come in, perhaps they should keep that in mind and not just be like, let's just do accommodation only, but rather be like, okay, if I want this person to stay here for the next 10 years, what can I do to keep them in the city for the next 10 years? I think for me that's the biggest thing, because what I've seen with Maboneng is that it allowed people to stay here for an extended period, because it spoke to more than just accommodations. Like, oh, I can stay here for the next 5 years, I can stay here for the next 6 years. You know, Jewel City, I can stay here for the next 3 years, I can stay here for the next 4 years, 5 years. So I think that's really important to be like, who is the demographic that's moving into the city now, right? 1, 2, what can I do to keep them in the city? And I had this conversation the other day with one of my guests on the tour. I was like, somebody like myself, I'm not the only person that wants to stay in the city. There's a lot of people we saw in Maboneng and Jewel City that want to stay in the city. But if there's no accommodation, if there's no developments to keep us here, we end up having to move out of the city, and then you have this continuous cycle of where people are leaving the city because there's nothing there for them, and the city perpetually stays low, the city perpetually stays underdeveloped. But if you can start thinking about like, what do we need to do to keep people in the city space for a long time, 10 years, 20 years, I think that's what developers should be thinking about, you know? And this is the solution that, so this is the sort of solution that you get in Maboneng, that you get in Jewel City, that people can stay there for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. The absurd developments with this nice high-rise, beautiful big apartments that keeps a person like me in the city, you know? So I think to answer that question, like, think from the development perspective, what do I need to do to keep an upwardly mobile, ambitious young person in the city for the next 10 years, 15 years? Because if you can lock that person in for the next 10 years, 15 years, then guess what? You're able then to develop the city in the long term, because when they get older, their kids will come through, you know? And some people disagree with me when I say this, but I personally feel that I grew up as a kid in the city, and there was no yard. I didn't have a yard at home. So kids can grow up without grass. It's very much possible, as long as you have somewhere for them to play, for somewhere for them to exert themselves. So in terms of families living in the city, there's many big cities in the world where kids live in apartments, and they are just as developed, they are just as happy as a kid who stays in a house with grass, you know, and yard. So I think also just keep that in mind, you know, where it's like, even with the developers, what do I need to do to bring a family into the city? Again, when these young people that stay here for 10, 15, 20 years, when they have kids, you want them to stay in the city. So keep that in mind. What does it need? What do I need to do as a developer to keep this young family, where the husband or the father and mother grew up here, worked here, stayed here, now there's a kid? Do I want them to move out, or do I want them to stay? I want them to stay. What do I need to do to get them to stay? And this is why I said, think about 10, 15, sort of that time frame. Like, what do I need to do as a developer to get these people to stay in the city?
So, brother, let us know one thing. I've been
Yes.
filming around.
Yes.
We literally just walked from Maboneng to Jewel City.
Yes.
And Jewel City we're going to?
So we're still within the Maboneng sort of development area, right? Remember,
Because
I think I mentioned
it's
earlier,
like the street art goes on. That's
Yes,
basically
yes.
the guideline.
That is the guideline. So yeah, that's actually a very good observation. Is that one of the things that the developers did to make sure that even if you go from Maboneng to where we are here, the street art kind of makes you feel I'm just still in the same neighborhood, just maybe the businesses or what I see on the side of the road changes. But by having the street art and graffiti here, you still get the sense of like, okay, no, I'm still in the same area because of all the street art and that. So it's a very popular thing. And also, if you're here by yourself, you can kind of use this as a route map for yourself, or if you want to walk around, just follow the street art, follow the graffiti, you know, so it does also double up as sort of a map in terms of moving your way around the thing. But
So what we're gonna do is also we're gonna give to our viewers
Yes.
the map from the street where they can go
Yes.
and all that. So
Yes,
we also
yes.
need to add that into the video
Yes,
to have a
true.
clear perspective where people
Yes.
can walk or
Yeah,
might
yeah.
not walk.
yeah, no, 100%.
But you can see, you know, it's still being developed, you know, a lot of cool buildings, the street art continues.
Yeah.
And it's huge, man. This new, or the mural goes all
Yeah.
the way down,
Yes.
all the way here. It's huge.
Actually, this one here is one of the oldest murals. It's actually done in 2014 by Nelson Makamo, who used to actually have a studio in and around the Maboneng sort of neighborhood. These days, he's a very well-known artist. I mean, he's been on Times Magazine. Oprah has bought his work. You know, I've seen him on pictures with Jay-Z and you know, these popular guys. So yeah, guys, you know, and it started Maboneng, you know, like this big piece of his here, you know, is one of the most iconic pieces. I'm really impressed at the fact that even though it was done in 2014, it's almost 8 years
Immaculate.
later, and it's still in very, very good condition, which also says maybe there must be an appreciation by the people for it, because if people didn't appreciate it, it could have been damaged and that by now. But you know, sometimes just do stuff that people appreciate, and then this is what will happen. Your work will stay here forever, or your work will stay here perpetually.
So, what is this place here?
So this is all still part of Maboneng. So the suburb. Okay, let me just clarify this. So Maboneng is the name of a place, but it's not necessarily the name that you'll find on the map. It's just the name of the development. So the area that we're in here is known as New Dawnfontein / Jeffreys Town. So they border each other. Maboneng itself, Fox Street, is in Jeffreys Town, and then once we went over the main road to here, this area here is known as New Dawnfontein. But this is all part of that initial development of Maboneng. The building that we see here that's brand new is done by the so this one here was done by the developers that also did Jewel City. And when I mentioned earlier, talking about doing a walk with the developers and architects that did Jewel City, it was the guys that built this one here. So I did a walk with them to show them around the. It's all new sort of, it's all kind of new sort of building, students, accommodation, affordable housing. So yeah, there's definitely life, you know, in the.
And even now with this new development they are doing now with affordable housing, that old taxi rank that was destroyed or demolished, and now they are investing what, 3 billion on it, something like that. That's another thing we're going to see in the city. So you guys can see how far we are at the moment from Jewel City. And this is basically the old, oh, this famous one.
Famous
Mandela, from the time they used to boxing. You know, the most interesting thing is when I drove around here, I saw all this, but I felt like, because I was not with someone from here, I felt unsafe to walk.
Oh,
so it's interesting, because I wanted also to see that, or you guys can see that
the container building.
The container building.
Yes,
also, it was another thing that I wanted to do.
Yes.
And I've been avoiding, but now today seems like it's a day. Look at this. Okay, brother. So, what do you want to say about the Nelson Mandela?
With me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's probably the tallest wall mural of Mandela. If I'm not mistaken, it's the southern hemisphere. I may be wrong, but in terms of wall mural, I'm not saying in terms of structure or whatnot, just a wall mural that was there. But it was done by a guy by the name of Freddie Sam. And if I'm not mistaken, it was 2014 or so. I may be wrong. I'm not too clued up when it comes to this piece here. But he did 2 murals. The one on the other side, or the initial one that's there, is gone. But it was done to speak about Ubuntu, because remember, Mandela was obviously preaching Ubuntu, a sense of community. I am because of others. But it's now been done over, and the piece I'm going to show you is the Dibongs one, piece that I was mentioning earlier, which I think is probably his best masterpiece in the whole sort of neighborhood. But just as an aside, when this outside area, or Access City, was being developed, the outside area, as you can see, it was like a nice outdoor gym sort of style. But Access City is essentially just a textile sort of manufacturing hub where dressmaking, printing, anything to do with textile industry you'll find over there. But there used to be boxing.
Wow.
You could come here in the morning.
Do you know how I would love to have something like this, just to do some calisthenics to work out?
Yeah.
This is a full body workout. I would love to do just something like this.
It was pretty cool, because we used to have like a little running fitness group, and we used to congregate and meet over here in the morning. And then you'd come, you'd do a jog, you'd do some boxing. There used to be a popular boxing coach in the inner city called George. If I'm not mistaken, he does still have his sort of boxing club in Hillbrow, but he used to come over here. So after running, after jogging, we would put in some, just like box and do exercise over here. But guys, again, it's you walk, you see, you meet, you kind of understand the day-to-dayness of the city, what's happening, where to go to, what the vibe is like. But yeah, so that's what we have here. Yeah, I think we need to try. I don't know how we're gonna get this, but we'll figure it out. But the big yacht's a beautiful piece, eh? You'll see it's once it pops out.
You see what I mean? If you didn't bring me here, I didn't know about Access City.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this before. Now we have that giant mural, also beautiful. Let me just give you guys.
Oh yeah, that was done by Sunny Sundance. So yeah, that's one there is what Sunny actually does. Is it Sunny Sundance or Sunny? I know his name is called Sunny. I always forget this guy's name. But with Sunny, he's sort of trademark style. You know what you generally find with street artists, graffiti artists will always have a specific tag that they use, either their name or an image. Whereas street artists generally tend to have a style. So with Sunny, he likes to work a lot with endangered animals, and that's stuff. So a lot of his work will speak to sort of an endangered animal in whatever context it may be, you know. So in terms of the tiger that you see there, in certain Asian countries, you know, there is a big risk of you know, the extinction of tigers. So that is just an example of him raising awareness around you know, endangered species. In this particular case, it was the tiger. But I mean, he's done different stuff. Just depending on where you go, you will see a different animal. Entirely just depending on what the vibe or what the situation is.
So we're continuing.
Yeah. See probably to there, so you can get a nice view of the big Dibong's one piece. Much happening here. It's just like one of the walkways.
I think it will be interesting as a focal point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people sometimes they see these photos and stuff like that.
Just try to understand.
Because I think I have been in that street where that thing is. There was a little bit of governmental buildings and stuff like that. But you see, guys, you can walk safely in the inner city. Just a little bit scary sometimes because you guys haven't been here with someone who knows where to walk. That's why we come with Diane to find out. And remember, guys, we're gonna put his contacts, everything, his social media. If you guys want to do this stuff that we did today yourselves, we make sure that you contact Diane himself and he can bring you guys around.
100%, man. 100%. So now you can see the beautiful piece that I was talking about.
What?
Massive one piece. So it's
See, get out of here before we get rammed by a taxi or something. Look at that, wow. That's stunning, eh? Let's look at that, guys, for 10 seconds, eh? Let's simulate. It's very immersive. Okay.
I'm gonna loop back so we can go to Hallmark House.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. You know, one thing crazy about this, brother, is the fact that if you see megalithic structures, for example, in Peru, the Nazca lines, you can see them from space. Now, which is crazy is, how the heck can you... I know you designed the grids and stuff like that, but it's crazy you know, how can you design this, something so beautiful and so much, you know, detail without messing it up, you know?
Yeah, I mean, these are talented artists. Eh? They've been doing this for a while, so they know the techniques. They know the, you know, they know the technique. They just know what to do. And I think in order for you to be this good, there must be a lot of practice that goes, you know, into this stuff. But this is why we appreciate, you know, these street artists, because this is the type of stuff, you know, that they do. Just one single piece of art almost brings this entire sort of neighborhood or this thing to life. It's like that unifying theme that brings the outdoor gym to the factory, to the old school, to the apartments. It's this big piece over here that everybody kind of knows to be like, okay, if we see this, we know where we are. But it's that unifying piece that brings the whole neighborhood, you know, together. So yeah, man, bigs up to Dibongs and Black Mabuto, yeah, for sharing this beautiful piece, yeah, with us.
Representing very well, very well. And again, this is literally, I didn't even notice this one, this is literally next to the tiger one.
Okay guys, so welcome to this area here. Is known as, it's not Market Up. Is it Market Up? This is Market Up. Sorry, I forgot the name. But anyway, this one here was similar to what we saw on Fox Street with the bigger restaurants and that. So all of these small stands here was designed to accommodate a smaller entrepreneur who doesn't necessarily have access to large amounts of capital that we'd find in Fox Street, you know. So initially this actually used to be home to a market. So there used to be the market on main market, but there also used to be a market run in this area over here. Also a lot of live music. Yeah, one of my friends who grew up skateboarding, hopefully he's inside here actually, he's got his cool business over here called Luma Munate. So if you've ever been in Johannesburg, oh wait, my G, is Vaughn around, huh? Just went out, just now. He's just went out.
So what they do here?
So here, fantastic street style food, really tasty, affordable. If you're ever anywhere in South Africa, there's this very popular street food called a kota, right? Which is essentially a quarter of a loaf stuffed with chips, cheese, whatever. You can pick and choose what sort of ingredients you have. If you're somebody that's worried about heartburn, then probably not for you. But it's a very popular sort of yeah, it's a very popular sort of street style food. Yeah, so that's the name of the. Yeah, so yeah, this is like a nice little cozy establishment. You can sit inside here, you can sit outside there. Yeah, the food here is really, really good, guys. Probably one of the places that I recommend people to come eat if it's not at Petrant. It will be over here in Maboneng. Yeah, all this stuff is just like super fresh. You must try the skapa. So if you're ever here, this is the one that you should try. This one for 55. It'll change your life when it comes to street food.
So bro, we are in the street. I can see there are developments going on.
Yes, 100%.
So tell us about it.
Yeah, so this development over here all came from the city, this neighborhood. It's an initiative I think called My City, My Hood, or My Hood, My City, where the city of Johannesburg decided, okay, how can we improve different parts of the neighborhood, right? So this extension of this thing is because a lot of the times before this happened, a lot of the kids that come from the skate park, just on my left hand side, would skateboard over here. But while they're skateboarding, there's also people walking up and down here. So this became a problem where there's pedestrians walking, kids were on the skateboard, and the city was like, how can we mitigate? How can we solve this solution here where there's enough space for people to walk and there's enough space for the kids to play? So this little passage here was built for the kids to be able to skateboard up and down, which will also double up as a bike lane. And then the pavement we're standing on allows the people to walk on this thing. I like this sort of thing because I love it when it's a bottom-down approach where the city or a developer identifies the problem. It's like, okay, what is happening on the ground and how can my solution speak to what's happening on the ground, instead of just like, this is what I'm doing as a city and it makes no relevance or there's no context. So this for me is absolutely beautiful, because the problem with this area is that kids were hitting people's legs with skateboards. So by creating this space that speaks to both users, so the kids can skateboard here and have fun, plus they live around the area, right? So this is where they can play. And then for people that are walking, they're able to walk over here. So absolutely fantastic. And I think the city needs to be doing a lot more of this because yeah, I mean, Joburg's a city of people. You know, these people, there's issues, and we want to just see a much more responsive city that speaks to the everyday problems that we encounter. So absolutely love this sort of you know, initiative. Yeah, and it just puts Joburg in a very positive puts Joburg in a very positive light.
So that's what you said is the skate park there.
Yeah, so that's one there with the containers. There is a skate park, and the story behind that actually is, so that skate park was built by a non-profit, an international non-profit called Skatepark, and what they do is youth development through skateboarding, meaning some non-profits use soccer, some non-profits use this sport, some non-profits use that activity. With Skatepark, they specifically use skateboarding as the tool to almost engage youth that are almost in areas where they don't have access to a lot of opportunities. So they run really cool programs, you know, over there where kids can come after school. If they need help with homework, they can get homework help over there. They need access to the internet and laptops and computers, you can find it over there. And in terms of the skateboarding part, how it works is that if you spend 1 hour learning, so learning, doing homework in the classroom, you get 1 hour on the skate park. So it's not just for you to skateboard. They've balanced it very well, where 1 hour of learning gives you 1 hour of, you know, of skateboarding, which I think is super cool. There's a lot of kids that live around this area here, and this does become a safe spot for a lot of the kids to hang out after school during the holidays. And you know, I love skateboarding. This is why we do the skateboarding tours, and it's pretty cool to see that they accommodate both guys and girls. You know, it's not just only boys that go there. There's also girls. In fact, I think the last time I checked was that every single Tuesday they used to have a girls only Tuesday, meaning that on the Tuesday the skate park belonged to the girls who are part of the non-profit or part of the program, and it would be the young girls that would be taught how to skateboard, so that it just builds their confidence, you know. So I do know Skatepark's got a very, very strong theme in terms of empowering girls through skateboarding, so they do a lot of work to get girls just to skateboard. In fact, yeah, there's Janae. She's going into the skate park. She's a friend of mine. I've sometimes worked with her on my tours, you know, as a guide on the skateboard tours. You know, so it's super cool, you know, because these young girls are growing up now, seeing that, you know what, just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I can't skateboard. You know, and if I can skateboard, what else then can I do? And that's essentially why they put so much energy in terms of, you know, getting girls to skateboard, to get them out of their comfort zone. If I can conquer skateboarding in the skate park, what else can I conquer in the, you know, in the outside world? So really great work done by Skaterstan. Absolutely love them. They are also in different parts of the world. It's not just Johannesburg. So there's Johannesburg, they're in Cape Town. They've just recently launched, if I'm not mistaken, something in Durban. They've got projects running in, they used to have projects in Afghanistan before, of course, there was the political sort of turmoil and that, but they also have projects in Cambodia. There's also projects in Jordan. There's also projects in Palestine, and there's also projects in Greek that they either they're directly involved in as the main service provider, or they collaborate with other non-profits there and be like, here's the program we do through skateboarding. Can we partner with you and you implement our program in conjunction, you know, with your program? So it's fantastic, you know. As somebody who grew up skateboarding, I can absolutely identify, you know, with the positive impact that skateboarding can have, not just in the skate park. You know, I think sometimes we get lost and confused in skateboarding belongs in the skate park, but for me, I think skateboarding is a fantastic way to learn about a city. Skateboarders are always skating around their cities, finding new spots, finding new places. So this is what I love doing my tours, because I explore Johannesburg. You're a first time, I'm going to teach you how to skateboard. Here's the spots where I grew up skateboarding. Here's the spot where I grew up skateboarding. Let's see this, let's see this. But while we're doing this, you're learning, you're seeing the city for yourself. You know, in terms of the non-profit, they do youth development. You know, so there's a lot of value in sort of skateboarding. It just depends entirely. Yeah, it just depends entirely on how you look at it and how you want to utilize it. So anything to do with skateboarding that benefits people, I'm 100% a big fan of it, and I absolutely love it, because as you walk, you just see kids on skateboard and you're like, yeah, this is super cool to see. Yeah.
Okay, bro, we are going to the Hallmark Hotel.
Yeah, so
I wanted to do this.
Rooftop at Hallmark Hotel. Very nice bar, very nice restaurant. They also actually have a jazz club. It's underground called Marabi Jazz Club. So yeah, I enjoy coming here. A lot of the tours that I do in terms of the skateboarding, our last stop, or where we end, is up on the rooftop over there. Because what I tend to find is that after walking on the city, sometimes you kind of get lost to be like, where am I? What am I doing? And you can't really see the city as a city. But when you see it from the rooftop, you kind of just like, oh, now I can see the sort of layout of the city. This is where we were, this is where we started, this is where I'm going to. You know, this is what I'm trying to move around it. So yeah, one of my favorite spots is definitely this place. Yeah, over here, as you can see, Hallmark House. Yeah, and we're gonna go check out the nice views from all the way up at the rooftop, so that you guys can get a sense of where we're walking around, where each part of the city is, and yeah, just to give you like a contextualization geographically.
And Ponte is there, so you can see how central is this. Okay. Okay, guys, this is the Hallmark Hotel. I'm gonna see it inside. Stay tuned, because this video will blow your mind. Okay, so I forgot to mention these first or 1, 2, 3 levels. Seems like it's parking. So the entrance is there. Very, very amazing, eh? I'm actually looking forward to do this hotel, eh? Okay fam, so I have been for a very long time to try to do the Hallmark Hotel, and today is the day, so let's go for the tour and let's start. Stay tuned. So the Hallmark Hotel right here in Joburg, guys, you know how it is in the city. How are you? Good, good.
What's up, yo? Let's see what Hallmark House is about and all the cool stuff that you have inside the space here.
And let's have a tour, guys. I'm actually looking for a long time to come inside, eh? This is really amazing. You gotta... How's man? Good, good. You can see how cool this place is. It's trendy, it's urban, it's vibey, you know? You got the bar there, you know what I mean? And they kept it very concrete-like, you know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of these buildings were industrial or factory warehouse. I mean, this used to be, if I'm not mistaken, diamond polishing buildings, right? But again, a lot of the redevelopment that you find here is warehouse factory style converted into everything that we see here. I think a part of it is because it's probably the most profitable, that it's easy to convert a big space into smaller spaces versus going from like an office space into a much bigger space, you know. But yeah, I think profitability had a lot to do with it, and also the close proximity to Maboneng, that they could complement each other. Like I mentioned earlier, you could have like a luxury style living here with the street culture not too far away from that. From here. But yeah, the view from the top is super cool. I think, yeah.
So we got 15 floors.
15 floors. Yeah. I think the hotel is on the 10th and 11th floor, if I'm not mistaken, 11th and 12th floor, and then the rest is.
So let's see. So there you go, guys.
Yeah. And that -1 is the Maravi Jazz Club.
Ooh, we're gonna see all that nice stuff. There you go, guys. Now let's go up the elevator. We're just waiting for it.
Why don't we do just to manage upstairs? Jason, I don't know. I got introduced to somebody else. I'm not sure if Jason is still managing the thing, but it's cool.
I would love to know how much actually they actually invested in this building, because this is, people don't understand, this is major investment inside of the inner city, you know.
No, it's big money.
People are not even aware what's happening in the inner city.
Yeah, because I think Atterbury, which is the biggest property fund, I think they did 20 billion in the inner city. So Jewel City plus.
I think it was 1 billion for Jewel City, and it was 400 million.
Yeah.
I know, because I actually covered the two places I had to research this.
Because Atterbury was also part of.
Look at the detail. So you have for handicapped people, let's put it this way.
Yeah.
COVID regulations, 12, 13.
Yeah, man.
Getting to the top, guys. Let's see, we'll hope we can do some drone footage. Let's go. Dun, dun, dun.
So this is what I'm talking about.
Oh.
So it's all of this side, and it wraps around and it goes all the way around. So these are all the beautiful views, and this is why I love Hallmark House. Like, it's nice, it's warm, it's sunny. Mind you, it's the middle of winter, but now you get a sense of like the city, because you can see all the city views. And when we get to the other side, you'll actually be able to see the kind of routes that we walked, and the different art pieces that we saw, and how they located in that.
Sure.
So, yeah, this is a nice place just to give you a sense of how central we are. And also, I say to people, just geographical awareness or geographical sort of geolocation. So, like, I know this tall building. If I can see that, then I know that I'm still in the city.
And by the way, what's that nice building? I'm always curious about that. What's those two?
White, so these ones here is all students' accommodation, right? So on this side here, because there's the university sort of campus over there, there's a lot of student
UJ, I can see there, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of student
Next to the
accommodation around this area over here.
This is huge, eh? We're actually not going to be able to fly the drone now, guys, because this is actually closed one, which I appreciate. Look, now I understand why they actually invested on this building.
Yeah.
Look at this, you just can sit around.
Yeah.
Could I have a cappuccino? Look at that.
Views, man.
This is crazy. I can literally understand the investment that was done here, guys. Look at this, African New York, guys. Look at this amazing bar right here. How's it, man? How are you guys? Good, man. You got a beautiful place here, eh? You guys will show on YouTube, eh? Very nice, man. Very, very nice. Very nice. Look, look at that veranda. Not the veranda, that balcony full of. You can see. Look at that thing, guys. I'm gonna put it a little bit closer. Oh my God! Look at it. That is so funny. Sorry guys, a little bit because of the zoom. Sometimes very difficult to keep the phone steady. Guys, what it? Put down below, guys. Look at this. This is what I'm saying. The city is being revamped little by little. Look at the stuff that you can see from here. Boom, goal. And South Africa wins the World Cup.
This side here, it's very clear the routes we walk. So remember when we started, there was that first mural I showed you with the red skin, black, white clothing. So the Crazy Goose Cliff mural, straight over there. And then we walked up until we got to Curiosity, which you see over there.
Let me just. So that was where we started, right?
Yes.
Where that.
That's mural. Then you can just run your line. There's the penthouses that we took the pictures at.
Okay, let me see the pen. Okay, that's the Nelson Mandela one, right? Show you guys the map so you guys can see where we were. So
black penthouses. So there's the black straight over there.
yeah, that we can see it. Wow.
And then there's Curiosity.
So there is actually a nice belt where you literally can walk.
Where you can just walk, yeah. And then of course there we were when we were at the place that I told you about, the restaurant where there used to be the market. It's just that black building over there.
Yeah.
So then you can see the loop that you can kind of
No, and all that city is based on city improvement districts,
Yes.
right? So can you guys see that building there? Okay, this one with the Bacardi. So that's the Gandhi Square, right?
Yes.
And then we have the Absa Tower precinct, which is another precinct. The South Improvement District is somewhere around there. Guys, it's just so many things, so many precincts at the moment in CBD that you can't go wrong in walking inside of the inner city. That's what I've been trying to document for you guys to see, to get again confidence in come to the inner city. If you are an investor, make sure that there are a lot of developers at the moment. We can, even if you are overseas, we can definitely turn the city around and make it a beautiful place again, as it is. You can't deny the beauty of this concrete jungle. Don't you agree, bro?
Yeah, no, Joburg is full of potential. You know, it's a city that people write it off, but somehow it still manages to rise up. You know, like I mentioned earlier, different phases of Joburg at different times. Some people give up, some stay, some put even more energy, you know. And I think what we need to understand is that Joburg is only 120 odd years old, right? In the context of a big city, it's very young. But also, it's a migrant city, so there's a lot of people from different parts of the world or different parts of Africa coming here. So trying to find a single voice to express what Johannesburg is very, very difficult. So I think, yeah, Joburg, it's a relatively young city, you know, give it time. Of course, there's many things that are wrong with it, but on the flip side, there's many things that are right with it, and we need to be able to look at both. Sometimes people don't look at the negative. I love looking at the positive, but I know what the negative is. There's a lot of potential here, guys. Really cool people, good property, good opportunities. Really, it's just a fantastic city to be in terms of cultural capital, and I love it to bits, and this is why I love doing all of the tours that I do. So please, guys, welcome to Joburg. Hit me up if you want to see the city, meet the people, meet the places, meet the city.
We need to focus there, eh? The biggest agglomerate of skyscrapers probably in a African capital, even knowing that Johannesburg is the biggest capital.
Yep.
It's the biggest city in South Africa, not the capital. The capital is Pretoria.
Yeah.
But we got other four capitals: Bloemfontein, Cape Town, Johannesburg is just the biggest city, or the Africa richest square mile, or where all the money is, the African economic hub. There you go, guys. That is a cool thing about Jewel City, eh? Because you got those two. Sorry, guys, the zoom is a little bit better. It's difficult to keep it like that, but you guys have an idea. The soccer fields, amazing, eh? Let's go through let's go to the inside,
Okay, yeah.
because we went actually through the other entrance because I wanted to show you guys the. Don't say nothing here because I will take the sound off. In-house DJ, guys. You guys see from another point of view, right? Okay, now what we're gonna do? Let's go that side. I need to tell you another thing. I like this that they use, you know, these quick It was quick, it was nice, it just got very urban vibey. Okay, so we don't really have entrance.
Yeah, they've built some new stuff here. Otherwise, you'd be able to walk all the way.
What? You got showers?
Bathroom
Okay.
here, but if you want to go that side,
This dance studio, eh? Crazy. Wow.
walk this way.
We exploring all the edges of the hotel. So there's a gym here.
This is what Johannesburg is. That's what I like to show people. I'm like, you have this rooftop, you have this rooftop,
That's
you have that rooftop, and then you also have that rooftop. And
so.
I'm like,
Wait,
all of these different.
is this actually businesses?
So this is residential.
Ah,
This is
okay,
residential,
so-
yeah, so residential. Anywhere where you see like chairs and that is residential on the rooftop. If you see these satellite dishes, then you must know it's residential.
Okay. So much stuff, people. So the dance studio guys. But you see, it's like taking the repurpose the whole space.
Yeah. So that's the idea already here. And as you can see, there's the train tracks.
Sure.
There, yeah. So this is a nice view because this is the eastern parts of the city.
Wow.
All right. This is what you see, and the eastern parts was very much residential. So that's why there's not a lot of high-rise buildings. But if you move that way, Jeppes Town, you can see a lot of the office/factories. Like I mentioned, Jeppes Town was always light industrial traditionally, and that's why you've got all of these buildings that look like from the outside that were factories or warehouses, and that's where Maboneng and Jewel City just popped up. But on this side here, you can start seeing like the sort of shapes of the roofs of the houses that you would find in suburbs. And that sort of stuff. Right?
It's crazy.
So,
It's just crazy to see where we actually walk. So how many kilometers do you actually think we did? Because we've been walking since what, 10 o'clock? So how many kilometers, brother?
Me?
Yeah.
Because the graffiti is 9, so maybe this is 4.
4 kilometers.
3, 4. I'm imagining.
Wow. It was a very soft walk actually, you didn't even feel it.
Yeah, but Joburg is nice to walk because it's flat. So it's not like
Yes.
up and down. So you
It's
can
not like
walk
a San
far.
Francisco or
Yeah,
something
so
like
you
that.
walk far because it's it's flat. Yeah, this is just inside.
So, and you mentioned that this building was a diamond polish factory. That's crazy, eh?
Remember, Jewel City was
Yeah.
the diamond exchange.
Ooh,
So
yes,
this
yes.
area again, light industrial. You know, if you understand why the history of these buildings, don't forget that it was a light industrial space. So, you know, textile manufacturing, woodwork stuff, people that make clothes was what you generally tend to find in Jeppes.
Amazing.
This is actually like here.
Okay, guys, so this is beautiful here. And look at the detail of for people on wheelchairs, right? To go to the upper floor, to actually go to the elevator. So they actually have a Hallmark Hotel merchandise, eh? Curious concept stores. And of course the barbershop, guys. This is really cool, eh?
If you ever need to wash your hands,
Yeah.
do whatever it is, you can.
Guys have the bar there also. So what floor is this?
This is the 5th floor.
The 5th floor.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is just the wow.
This is my executive room. The Matosa suite.
Okay.
Yes.
Look at this, guys. What do you think? Oh, I love the wallpaper. Let's see the view. Because people, when they come to Joburg, they love the view. Okay. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna see the penthouse. Wow, there you go. Now we're talking. Thank you very much. Wow. It's really an executive room. Now I can see it. So, Ellis Park, Ponte Day. What can I say, guys? Okay, and of course, let's see the throne, the sink, the bathroom, guys. Straightforward. Very nice bubble bath after a big walk. To give you guys an idea, it's like 2 o'clock on a Friday, and Maboneng start to to have a lot of people, especially now on the Friday. People will come by just to have fun, nightlife and all that. So it starts to pump, bro. Literally. Start literally to pump. It was completely like at 10 o'clock, it was completely different, eh?
Yeah. No, once the late afternoon starts coming in, it does become a lot busier because now everyone is off work, it's lunchtime, it's Friday, people just want to have a good time.
Even I am hungry, eh?
And Maboneng is just a hangout spots where people just come to and chill, relax, kick back and enjoy themselves. So yeah, like I said, get there in the morning, you see a different side of Maboneng, get you in the afternoon, a different side of Maboneng. But it's all one area. And,
but it's not dead. I was thinking it was dead because of COVID, but no, it's actually transforming itself.
Yeah. No, there's definitely activity, 100%. There's definitely activity.
Okay, love it. You see, even they are recuperating, revamping this place to open probably what, a disco or something like that. But we'll do something more in the future, you know what I mean? So it will be highly interesting to do so.